This is a special presentation from News Channel 9, WSYR Syracuse.
After 57 years on radio and TV, he's become a Central New York icon, one of the most familiar faces in his hometown.
Tonight, we're going to look back at the man you've turned to for the news night after night for all these years.
He was born Roderick Woodruff Grote, but you know him by another name. Tonight, as he winds down a long and distinguished career, it's time to celebrate the life and work of Rod Wood.
I am today announcing officially my retirement.
Rod made it official on Veterans Day in a Zoom call with our staff. Well, that, of course, was a concession to the coronavirus, which has kept him away from the newsroom since March.
And boy, have we missed him. And judging by all the cards, letters, and phone calls, so have you.
Right after his announcement, I asked Rod what went into his decision.
I had told our managers several months ago that I was coming up on my 80th birthday and that I did not want to be on the air at age 80 because everybody around me is in 20 to 30 range. So anyway, I chose this month to retire, and next month will be my 80th birthday.
Roddy started bringing you the news here in Central New York after he got out of the Army back in 1963. We'll let him pick up the story from there.
Well, I grew up in the university section near Edward Smith School. My mother was a secretary in the drama department at SU and got me involved in the drama department at Children's Theater.
She was a poet and spent a lot of time writing poetry, and I think he got a little bit of a sense of, you know, journalistic flow from that regard.
And we also had our own TV show back in the 50s on then Channel 8 called The Tinker Shop. And we presented children's plays on Thursday afternoons at 4:30 for about 15 minutes. And that led to my TV career at the age of 10. I got out of the Army in 1963, and I heard a couple of friends of mine on the radio. And I thought, if these guys can be disc jockeys, why not me? So I tried to become a disc jockey, and I went to WOLF, and they did an audition. And they said, I don't know, you don't have teenage appeal. Your voice is too mature. Why not try news? And I was there about 6 months, and WNDR wanted me to go over there and do news.
Right now in Syracuse, 64 degrees, Rod Wood reporting. 1260 WNDR.
And then I got a call from WHEN Radio and TV, and I went over there to do news in 1967.
He's the hardest working man I know. He's the type of guy that growing up, and even right up to the present day, would go put in an 11-hour day, come home, do laundry at midnight, and then spend his weekend mowing the lawn, taking care of the yard, doing the shopping for our family of 7, and basically he just keeps moving.
My job as an anchor is to bring to the people of Central New York the best news I know how to get, 24/7.
Rod is the rock. I mean, he's the rock. He's always here. He's always caring and considerate and thoughtful.
The biggest hurdle, it's bringing people the news that is relevant to their lives.
Cares about the community, cares about Channel 9, cares about the people that he works for and works with. And when I say that he's working for, he's really working for the audience.
We don't always have all the answers, but we certainly try to get them.
He's meant so much, but I can never separate who Rod Wood is now to me from what he was to me when I was riding the school bus to school. And Rod Wood was on 62 WHEN radio giving me the news in the morning or in the midday as I went to high school.
Rod's born and raised in Syracuse. He's got a mind for facts, figures, dates, could remember little trivial things that happened in the news going back decades. That's saved a lot of people a lot of time looking up file footage.
He knows everybody. He knows who to call, how to get them, and at the oddest time of day. He has worked nights for a long time. Offices don't stay open until 11 o'clock. Who do you call? Ask Roddy, he knows.
And they used to joke over at the station that I was at that I was the real 11 at 11 because I was about 11 years old. I always am sort of struck by the energy coming right out of the gate at the top of the broadcast.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Rod Wood.
The guy loves doing the news, and he loves his community, and I love Rod. You know, he's just a good guy.
When he's reporting on a house fire in Eastwood when he's reporting on some other tragedy that has occurred in somewhere in central New York, he feels it, and he feels for the family, he feels for the people. He's probably been on that street. He's probably been in that community, been in that suburb, been in that town countless times.
His place in the community is one of distinction, that people enjoy him and his personality, and that people look at him and they think that he could be the guy that lives next door across the street.
I don't feel like a celebrity. I feel like a person who's grown up in this town, who's been fortunate enough to get a decent job in this town, and I'm thankful for what I have.
Coming up, we'll look back at Rod's history-making career.
We'll hear from many of his friends from all across the country, including a few you may recognize.
And a little later on, we'll sit down and talk with Rod himself about what's next as he contemplates life after retirement. That's all coming up tonight on Rod Wood, A Celebration.
Hey, it's Bob Costas, and welcome to my kitchen. Don't ask. Now, where was I? Oh, yes, Rod Wood. When I arrived in Syracuse in the early 1970s, Rod was already a broadcasting fixture. And to give you an idea of just how long ago that was, the news anchor at Channel 3 was Fred Hilligus. I did a short stint myself at WSYR, but left in the mid-1970s, leaving behind my dream of one day succeeding Bud Hedinger as the host of Bowling for Dollars. But some remained and became local legends, and certainly Rod Wood fits into that category. I remained connected to the Cuse over all the decades because of my broadcasting buddies in Syracuse, and also because of my connection to the university. And it was always comforting to know that some things would always be there. Jim Boeheim would always be the basketball coach. Rod Wood would always be on television anchoring the news. But apparently, even that eventually has to come to an end. After nearly 60 years in broadcasting and a half-century on television, Rod Wood calls it a career. Congratulations, Rod, on a great, great, and legendary run.
Rod Wood changed my life. I was just 25 years old when I was hired to be Rod's co-anchor, and I've spent most of my career sitting right next to him. To borrow a favorite phrase from Rod, it's been the ride of my life.
This is 9 Eyewitness News.
Carrie and I have worked together side by side for 31 years, and that's quite an accomplishment in broadcasting anywhere in the world. We are probably one of the oldest anchor teams in America, and 31 years is a remarkable accomplishment, I would say. Forever.
31 years, Rod.
More than 3 decades. I'm pretty good with Italian pronunciations. When she wants to pronounce a name or something, she comes to me. It does get very tense in the newsroom sometimes with a story, and I say, hey, look, you know.
We talked about when things go crazy. We go like this, too, but you don't get to see that. So that's what it looks like behind the scenes
Fortunately,
up here.
not very often, Carrie.
It's nice to see you. I'm so glad you came.
Fair is always fun. We run into people from everywhere, from Canada, or they're visiting from Florida, and they say, oh, we used to watch you guys 20 years ago. And one year I got Carrie a cowboy hat and his cowboy boots, and we dressed her up.
I've been dreaming about it ever since, Rod.
I knew you have. Okay. And I had a big cowboy hat, and we had a lot of fun with that. Time to launch News Channel 9's Operation Good Things. We of course, through Operation Good Things at Upstate University Hospital and the other Central New York hospitals, it was always our pleasure to go together and see the children, see their eyes light up when we would bring them toys.
It'll change the life.
When Carousel Center opened, Carrie stayed back at the studio, and I went to Carousel, which was kind of rare. Usually Carrie got the remote story, and I was back at the station. I don't know how that happened. I guess there was a snafu there. I'm not sure.
From Syracuse, it's my pleasure to introduce Rod Wood and Carrie Lazarus.
There we are, and elected to the State Broadcasters Hall of Fame. We sat with Regis Philbin. We sat with Brian Williams. We sat with Deborah Norville. And it was an amazing night, and we had so much fun getting that.
You're all in broadcasting. You know that anchor teams are very much like arranged marriages. Lots of other people think it's a great idea. You're not so sure. 26 years later, It is a solid relationship and a wonderful marriage.
Some said 25 years ago we'd never last this long, but we'd prove them wrong.
This is what I've been missing.
She is the cheer girl from Newhouse School. Da 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 da.
Walking my baby back home.
We've always thought Rod was an institution in Central New York. Coming up, the city of Syracuse agrees.
It's just a wonderful feeling to know that you are loved in the community, and I feel that way right now.
Okay, the year 1974, it's June. A young sophomore from SUNY Oswego gets a job doing weekend weather at WTVH in Syracuse. Across the hall is WHEN Radio, and there is a news director there who takes this kid who doesn't know what the heck he's doing, takes him under his wing, helps him learn about editing, about radio news, about how you be a broadcaster. That was you, Rod Wood. I remember how great it was to be under your tutelage, how you helped bring a whole generation of broadcasters in Syracuse through, and that they have now spread across the country. Of course, you poo-pooed all the folks who worked in television, and then a couple of years later, you got a job at WIXT, Channel 9, and you became the anchor in Syracuse, New York. And you know what I remember most about that? When you finally got on TV, you started wearing pants. Good for you, Rod. And now you're retiring, you can take your pants off. Ah, that's what I call a career. Rod Wood, we salute you.
Rod grew up on the east side of Syracuse, but for much of his adult life, he's been a fixture in the Valley. He raised his family there, and he's been one of the neighborhood's biggest cheerleaders. And in 2014, the city of Syracuse returned the favor. Here's News Channel 9's Tim Fox.
It all started with a Christmas gift from one of his daughters.
I had a sign made for him that said Rod Wood Way, and somebody planted the idea in my mind that we should get a street really named after him.
Suddenly, a simple little idea became a very big deal. Family, friends, fans from the community, even SU's Sour Citrus Society showed up to salute Hall of Fame anchorman Rod Wood for more than 50 years of service, keeping his hometown informed and up to date.
Rod grew up in the Westcott Nation near Syracuse University, but he and his wife Nanette raised their 5 kids here in the Valley area, and he has been the #1 cheerleader for the Valley most of his career.
I think there's just those people that are icons in the community, and he's definitely one of them. And he's a Valley guy, you know, and we're a pretty tight-knit community down here.
Much was made of Rod's kindness to young colleagues, thousands who passed through the newsroom over the years, his great sense of humor, and his role as the heart and soul of our newsroom family.
There's a pothole.
And if the street isn't plowed, I'll be out of town.
Don't call you. Okay.
Not only is Rod Wood now going to have a street named after him, Rod Wood Way, Rod Wood is the way and the news and the life of the Valley. Recognized for his many accomplishments, it is fitting that a portion of South Salina Street in the vicinity of Rod's home, right down that way, will now be known as Rod Wood Way.
This is my home. This is where I'm going to stay. This is where they're going to plant me someday. That's it.
How are you going to feel when you drive past this sign every day?
It's going to choke me up. I know it's going to mean a lot. It's a wonderful feeling to know you're loved.
Rod has known generations of leaders in Central New York on the local, state, and federal levels. They've put their trust in him to deliver information that's important, sometimes critically important, to viewers across the region.
Well, for people like me, my parents, Rod is synonymous with local news. He has been telling our stories for my entire life and really for a generation. And so he is an institution here in Syracuse, and we're very lucky to have him.
When people don't actually know who you are, they see you on TV, but they feel like you're part of their family. I think many people in our community have that emotional connection with Rod.
We know for that moment when we tune in and Rod is on, that we're just getting the news as it's intended to be. And we can formulate opinions from it, but he's going to give us the facts. He's going to tell the stories, and that is something that is not always easy to find in this day and age, and certainly something that will be missed by all of us.
And Rod has been there for years as a steady hand, and we owe a lot of gratitude, a debt of gratitude to Rod for that.
In recognition of his long career of service to Central New York, the mayor and the county executive have declared Wednesday, November 18th, Rod Wood Day in the county of Onondaga and the city of Syracuse. Rod has been a member of this community his entire life. It's a responsibility he's taken seriously. Still to come, a look at Rod, the guy next door.
Hey Rod, Mike Tirico, congratulations. It truly is one of the longest runs in the history of television. One person, one market, 57 years. It's about time you retired, Rod. I mean, I'm ready to retire in a year or two, and you're still going. It's incredible. When I got to Syracuse in 1984, you were on the air, and my last year working there after school was in 1991. And for the last 29 years, it was so comforting to come back, whether you're sitting next to Carrie or Christy, just to see you still on the air, as smooth, as comfortable as ever, as friendly and inviting and as warm. I know we worked at competing stations, but you were always a friend to so many of us who came through the market. You saw a whole bunch of kids who went to SU come through and start to work in the TV market in Syracuse, and you were so welcoming to all of us, those who worked at Channel 9 and those of us who worked down the street and down the dial. Rod, nobody deserves a happy, enjoyable retirement more than you. Congratulations. Thanks for being a friend. Thanks for hanging on to that picture that you have at your desk of us at the Carrier Dome. It's been a special time in my life watching you, getting to know you. You set a standard of respect and quality that no one will ever match when they come through Syracuse, because nobody's going to have a run quite like this. It's been just an honor to be a friend, and I wish you, along with my wife and our kids, nothing but the best in retirement. Congratulations, Rod. All the best, buddy.
We want to take a little time now to remember the hub of Rod's family. His wife, Nanette, died on May 25th, their 52nd wedding anniversary after a 9-year battle with cancer. Her family remembers Nan as an absolute original, a woman of faith, a kind-hearted soul with a quick smile and a contagious laugh, who put great love into feeding family and friends. Nanette died on Memorial Day, bringing special new meaning to the day for everyone who knew her.
Well, throughout his career, Rod has been a champion of good causes. He's been a regular blood donor for most of his adult life. He was one of the hosts of the Children's Miracle Network Telethon on Channel 9, supporting children's causes at Upstate Medical University. And 10 years ago, he took on a new cause, prostate cancer awareness. Rod was diagnosed with prostate cancer in 2010 and had successful surgery.
Welcome back, Rod.
Thank you, Carrie.
Great to have you here.
Great to be back.
From that time on, he made it his mission to let friends, colleagues, and men all around Central New York know how important it is to be checked regularly.
Mr. Speaker, I ask unanimous consent to address the House for 1 minute.
Rod's career has drawn acclaim for many years. The latest honor came from the nation's capital. Congressman John Katko took to the floor of the House of Representatives to salute Rod's long service to Central New York.
For 5 decades, he has been there to deliver the news to families throughout our community. I ask that my colleagues in the House join me in honoring Rod Wood for a remarkable 50-year career in journalism. I wish him all the best in his retirement.
You can't work as long and as hard as Rod did without great support. And Roddy got the best from his family of 5 children and 10 grandchildren. To John, Chris, Rebecca, Priscilla, and Elizabeth, and your families, you've made your dad proud. Thank you for sharing him with us.
It's hard to pull anything over on someone with Rod's experience, but coming up next, we'll look back at a surprise he never saw coming. We'll have more of Rod Wood, a celebration, after this.
All right, now tell everybody the truth.
You know, the word legend gets tossed around an awful lot these days, but there really are few who truly live up to its meaning. And Rod Wood, there's no question you are a Syracuse legend. A hometown boy who made his family proud, who made a community better. And I remember as a cub reporter down the street at Channel 5, we always wanted to know, what are Rod and Carrie up to?
I worked for years with Ron and Mo, and I remember they would start their news, toss to their first report, and then they would look over at the monitors and ask, what are Rod and Carrie leading with? We all learn from you, Rod. Your wit, your care with every story, your dedication for more than 50 years, 44 of them right there at Channel 9. And that's why we call you a legend. If anyone deserves retirement, it's you, Rod. Congratulations.
Rod has worked here at News Channel 9 for 44 years, but he's had a lot of experience under his belt when he got here.
He sure did. He started in radio back in 1963. When he reached his 50th year in broadcasting, we surprised him. Remember that night during the newscast? It was full of family and friends.
How do you follow an act like that? Thank you to everyone who phoned in their greetings.
How do you like it?
Completely pulled this off without my knowledge.
No idea, really?
Yes, you did.
You were completely surprised?
I'm completely surprised. It's just so nice to hear.
50 years is a long time that you've been serving this community, and we have some guests here.
No. Oh, my God. I don't believe this.
Well, some faces you recognize.
I was caught flat-footed.
We also heard from a few well-known admirers.
I tell you, anybody that's been in Syracuse longer than I have has got some kind of staying power. And to do a great job along the way every day, congratulations. What an unbelievable career that you've had.
Well, Rod doesn't act or even look like he's 50 years old, let alone been in broadcasting 50 years. So, Rod, you're an amazing guy. You're both incisive and nice at the same time. And I wish you many, many more years.
You've been phenomenal. You covered some of the biggest stories of our lifetime. I think you were at Appomattox when Lee surrendered. Your coverage there was phenomenal. And I just can't thank you enough for all the lousy stories that you've written about or done about me.
And that celebration gave me a chance to sit down with Rod for a few minutes high atop the Crown Plaza Hotel in downtown Syracuse to talk about some of his career highlights.
I like cars, I like motorcycles, and I like food. I love Italian food, I love Arabic food, I love German food. In the winter, I love to run my snowblower.
Yeah.
In the summer, I like to run my motorcycle.
Just got the snowblower ready for another season. Huh?
I did. Yeah. I just put 2 new shear heads in it yesterday.
Do you think anybody really, you're sharing these things, has a clue that Rod Wood actually repairs and maintains his own snowblower? And
that's because I studied auto mechanics extensively at Nottingham High School.
Well, and I know you don't ever, you never around the TV station talk about yourself. I know in this setting you don't like to talk about yourself. But if there was one thing that the general public maybe doesn't know about Rod Wood, what do you think that would be? So much has been told about you lately, maybe there's nothing left. But I'll bet there is.
I'm sure that they'd like to know about my family.
Please. I know you're very proud of your sons and your daughters.
When I came to work at Channel 9, my wife and I had 2 children, 2 boys. And after I joined Channel 9, we had 3 daughters. And so the grand total of 5. I'm very proud of my family and everything they do, everything they stand for. And they've made me immensely proud through the years.
And they've made their own mark in Central New York, too.
They certainly have. Yeah.
Your sons are big in the business world, and they're very well known for.
I have 1 daughter's a school principal. Another one works for a big real estate firm. Another one's a fundraiser in Rochester. And my 2 boys, of course, have become famous for the T-shirt business they're in. So
Holy
Holy Shirt, yes.
Yeah. What does it mean to you that they have stayed, also, by and large, in Central and upstate New York and made their livings here?
I think it's remarkable. I always thought that they might consider leaving town, but I think they like it here as much as I like it here. And they've chosen to make this their home.
Tom Young,
Syracuse has always been the home of this made in Central New York newsman, a newsman who tackles the new technologies of his trade the way any 50-year veteran would.
I'm not fully there. I usually look for technical help from one of my 22-year-old colleagues in the newsroom. That's how I get by.
Other than
they
that,
know more than I do about these things.
You draw on their youthful wisdom. What else do you draw on, Rod, to keep you going strong in radio and now television for, well, since 1967 you've been a television anchor, right?
I have a little secret to keep myself going when I kind of not having a good day. Sometimes I go on the internet and I listen to music.
What kind?
I might play Stevie Wonder.
Yeah. In the news, like between newscasts.
I might play Joe Sherman on the Arena Brass. I'll just throw those names out there. It's just tunes I've heard along the way that sort of give me a little bit of encouragement.
Keeps you going.
Exactly.
Keeps you going. In this very room that we're seated in now, you told me something I didn't know until we sat down for this interview.
That's true. We're on the top floor of what used to be the Holiday Inn when it was built in the 60s, I believe. This was a nightclub up here. It was called the Top of the Inn. It was all colored lighting, and you could look all over the city and see the lights. And they'd have a band up here, and they would have dancing. It was a great place to come.
And you were here often in those days?
Yeah, my wife and I used to come here quite frequently.
Quite the place.
It was called the Top of the Inn.
Very nice of you to sit with us for another interview.
I keep asking Carrie this question. I go, do you want to be doing this when you're 72 years old?
And what does she say?
Hell no.
It can be a little intimidating to come to work with someone you've been watching since you were a kid, but Rod had a knack of making everyone feel at home.
He came into your living room or your kitchen every night for 44 years to deliver, you know, the most important stories that shape people's lives.
When you think of the pantheon of news anchormen in central New York, it's easy. Ron Curtis, Rod Wood. Period. End of story.
He was always a real journalist, and he never let anybody know what his particular political persuasion was. He always played it right down the middle as a true journalist.
Rod he's kind of a pillar, if you will. When you see Rod Wood deliver the news or whatever on your TV set, you knew to listen up.
When I turn on the TV, when people around this area turn on the TV, that's the guy you want to see. And I have to tell you, over these last months during these pandemics, we've missed him terribly. I have to call him up at home and annoy him from time to time and see if maybe he'll read me a news item.
Just in the short time that we've had him out because of COVID and whatever not, every place you go, everybody asks how he was, how he's doing. Everybody knows Roddy. He's just, he's probably one of the most beloved personalities in this community.
Looking across this newsroom at all these legends that I had watched as a kid in Homer growing up, and I'm looking in this newsroom thinking, I'm nervous, I'm anxious, I'm overwhelmed, am I going to make it here? And the very first person who came over and introduced himself was Rod Wood.
The Rod you see on the air and have seen for a long, long time, many, many decades, is kind of different than the Rod we know off the air. Rod is hysterical. He is one of the funniest human beings, also one of the sweetest and kindest human beings. He's a friend not only to his viewers and his loyal audience, but to people in neighborhoods all over Syracuse.
He took like young reporters or somebody like me under his wing. He gave us the best advice that he could, and he brought a sense of humor to it. And I don't know how to describe it other than you just want to hug him.
Well, I think he put the bug in everyone's ear that was working here that hadn't seen me before, to say, hey, you got to hire this kid. And, in my heart of hearts, I think that, that played a small but significant part of me being here today.
I was on deadline. There was no way that I was going to have time to go out and get anything to eat. Now, he did not know this, but he came over to my desk and he said, hey, are you hungry? I have some sandwiches in the back. Sure enough, there was a bologna sandwich with mayonnaise, a little pudding cup, and it was either Hi-C orange or a Capri Sun. And he said, it's all yours.
He was always welcome. Any place you'd go, oh, Rod, yeah, come on over. Yeah, what do you need? And they would tell him and talk to him, and it was great.
I was one of 3 African Americans at Nottingham. And when I first walked in, I didn't know anybody, and nobody really wanted to be my friend, so to speak. And all of a sudden, one day, Rod walked up and started talking, and he hasn't stopped since.
It's no secret that I took weather and weather forecasting very personally and very seriously, maybe too much so at times. And you could always count on Rod to come in and crack some kind of joke about something. And you sitting there and you're so intense and for no reason at all, you just start cracking up. And at the end of the day, you're like, thank God for Rod.
I used to say, would you help me? And of course, if anybody would, Rod would. And so I tell him I'm going to put American Pie on before the news, and then after the news, I'm putting MacArthur Park on. And what I'm going to do is start American Pie. When it ends, do 5 minutes of news, you have a remote and start the MacArthur Park. That way I can get a half-hour nap.
You'd never know how old he was. I swear. You'd think he's 18 instead of 80. I'm honest. It's just, and it's infectious. And he finds ways to bring out the best in people, because when he acts that way, it lightens people up and people feel comfortable around him. And he really does bring the best out of you.
When he wanted to start slowing down, he started talking to me about wanting to maybe work part-time. And I would say, Rod, why are you coming in at 11 o'clock in the morning? Your shift doesn't start until 3.
I can't believe he's finally willing to say it's time to not come in to work for 12 hours a day, as he has been forever. But I'm happy for him. I'm happy for him. Rod's such a great guy.
When I think of sports in Syracuse, I think of Jim Boeheim. And when I think of news in Syracuse, I think of Rod Wood. And I think there are so many common threads between the two, how they both stayed here, they lived here, they grew their families here, they had opportunities to go other places, but they decided that they wanted to stay put because this was their home, this was their community.
Rod's been bringing you the very latest news for years on News Channel 9. Coming up, the very latest on Rod. Carrie and Christy sit down with the Dean of Central New York Broadcasters as he calls it a career. That's next, here on News Channel 9.
I'm Steve Croft, formerly of WSYR Radio and TV3 Total News, which is what the station was called back at the dawn of the 1970s when I first met Rod Wood in Syracuse. I like to call it the carbon paper age of broadcast journalism in Syracuse. It's when everybody's hands were always filled with ink. There were no copying machines, no computers, no cell phones. If you wanted to phone in a story or call for roadside assistance, you had to find a payphone and carry a pocket full of change. Rod and I were both doing the drive time morning newscasts in Syracuse opposite each other's. We were rivals. Our relationship was very cordial, but also very competitive. Very competitive. In fact, Rod Wood was the person that taught me and gave me an introduction to the hardscrabble world and sometimes cutthroat world of the police beat and all of the tricks that reporters use to get an edge over their competition. I understand that Rod has been dining out for years on a story that I used to bring donuts to the cops at the public safety building so that they would give me all the scoops. And I need to clear a couple of things up. First of all, I'm getting on in age, not as old as Rod, but I'm pretty sure I never scooped Rod Wood in the morning. And second of all, I'm pretty sure he was the one that brought the donuts for the cops. Rod was always the one that stayed at home. It was his choice because he was certainly good enough to go to much bigger markets or to the networks. But I was happy to see him stay because I didn't have to worry about him anymore. But the real beneficiaries of the whole thing were the people of Syracuse, who got 57 years of a really great journalist who outlasted the likes of Fred Hilligus and Ron Curtis and Laura Hand to become now the king of television in Syracuse past. And I want to congratulate him on really a wonderful career and hope that he's just as happy in retirement as I am in mine, and that every time I pass a donut shop, I'll think of him.
One of Rod's favorite assignments every year has been the Great New York State Fair. He's really in his element on the fairgrounds, chatting with folks in the crowd, soaking up the atmosphere. To honor his commitment to the fair and his hometown spirit, State Fair Director Troy Waffner has awarded Rod a lifetime admission pass.
Well, the coronavirus has presented challenges for all of us. Rod's been home since COVID-19 really took hold in March, but Carrie and Christy were able to sit down with him at a safe distance just a few days ago. They met at the Marriott Syracuse downtown, scene of so many stories Rod's covered over the years. It was a chance to talk about his retirement and his amazing career.
What made you decide now is the time to make the exit?
Well, I had told our general manager and our news director that when I turned 80, I would like to retire. Well, anyway, I started off using up my vacation time when this COVID came along, and I thought, gee, maybe it'll pass. Didn't happen. And 3 weeks into my vacation time, my wife died. And so I thought, I'm not going back yet.
You still love the news. You're a news junkie. You absolutely love it, and you love sharing it with everyone.
Yeah.
So it was not an easy decision for you.
Yeah, I told, after our news director called me to begin with, they asked if I wanted to work 2 hours a day. And I said, I can't even clear my email in 2 hours a day.
It's funny. I mean, most people retire long before they're 80, especially people who are on television. Rod, like, you've got these piercing blue eyes and this terrific personality. I mean, how have you been able to stay on television all these years?
I don't know that. How long have you felt this way about me?
A long time. Is it being in a newsroom environment? Has being in the newsroom
I just think the rapid pace of the news cycle just keeps you going all the time.
You know, our viewers were used to seeing you at 5 o'clock, 5:30, 6 o'clock, and then 11 o'clock. But what they didn't know was that you often arrived at the station at noon and didn't leave until midnight. And I have to ask you, how did you keep that up all those years?
I don't know. I wish I had an answer for that. I guess I like to stay ahead of the game. I like to get my work done early. I'm not a procrastinator. If I have something that needs to be done, I like it to be done instantaneously.
Right. What I also love about you is I would come into the newsroom. I don't know if you experience this as well, but you had better know what went on today. Everything from obituaries, who passed away, to what the top story was as soon as you walk in that newsroom. Because if you didn't, Rod would ask you.
Yep. And one more question that you didn't include in that. What's the gossip today?
Rumor mill.
The rumor mill.
You knew it all. The moment I walked in the newsroom, you were so...
Let's just say I pried it out of other informants.
The other thing I learned, and a lot of lessons from Rod, and I'm sure you did too, is the five P's.
Right.
So
Prior, planning, prevents, poor performance.
I was taught that in the Army probably 60 years ago. And that's,
It stuck with me.
They are words to live by, for sure. And, you know, I think what's so great is that, you know, we always think of those words when we think of you, but so do all the young reporters and producers in the newsroom. And I'm talking about decades worth of people who have come and gone from Syracuse, many of whom are on national television.
I've actually called news directors and other stations, people I had worked with before, and say, hey, you know, I got a really splendid person here who was make a great producer, and they'd move on.
One of the things you always say when you discover somebody who you think has a lot of potential, what do you always say?
That kid was a find.
In the midst of the most chaotic news day, Rod could always make us smile.
Yes.
No matter what. You always brought some levity.
When things got tense around the newsroom, I think I tried to loosen everybody up a little bit.
And I know that you did that on purpose, right? To just kind of like break the tension a little bit?
I try to see some kind of light at the end of the tunnel, I guess you might say.
Yeah.
On the other hand, there's times when tragedy strikes in the newsroom. And I remember when our colleague lost his daughter. I don't want to mention the name.
Yeah.
But I had just seen the child a week before, and she was so full of life. And it just was so traumatic. I didn't even want to read the news because I was so upset over the girl's death.
Yeah.
I said, please, let's go to the weather so I can cry. I just wanted to cry. It was just the worst day I'd ever spent on the air. Because, you know, I've always tried to be a friend to everybody and treat people with respect, be they the studio technicians, you know, anything, cameraman, reporters. You know, I've never tried to be condescending in any way. I mean, I always treat everyone like they're my equal. And that's the way I live my life.
Yeah, that's why everyone misses you already so much.
There are people, Rod, who have had you in their living rooms for as long as they can possibly remember. What would you like, as you leave the anchor desk, them to think of when they think about the times watching you?
I want them to know that I spent a great deal of time and energy in making sure we had the facts and we got our story straight. And if we didn't get our story straight, we would admit to it and place a correction.
I also have to say, we would often rely on Rod to make phone calls when reporters or producers couldn't get information. They would go to Rod and say, Rod, will you call so-and-so? Because he won't tell me what I know.
He'll tell you. Right.
Yeah.
But people trust you. Why do you think that is?
Gee, I don't know. Because I tried to play fair and square with them and not, you know, voice too many opinions on anything that's of significance, you know. I may have an opinion on something humorous, but nothing to do with politics or whatnot.
You love walking into a room and seeing the mayor and seeing the county executive. And you have such a good relationship with some of the most influential people in Central New York.
I was waiting for Henry Kissinger's news conference at the War Memorial. So he was late. So I decided I'm going to get up and do a spiel like if it's Henry Kissinger, right? Whenever I get to LA, I always call Jill St. John for a date. And you know, I started doing the whole thing. Anyway, as I'm doing this routine about Henry Kissinger, who finally walks in the door? Henry Kissinger. So what does he say? He looks at me, he says, keep going, young man, keep going.
I love it.
Henry Kissinger approves.
Love that guy.
So when people are missing you on the news and they're thinking about, gee, I wonder what Rod's up to. What are you going to be doing with your retirement?
I've been remodeling my house, and I do the cooking, I do the cleaning. Now I'm on Facebook, so it's
You're on Facebook. Wait a minute. This is breaking news.
I know it, I know it.
What finally made you do it?
Well, my son brought me over, you know.
An iPad?
Yeah, an iPhone. An iPhone.
An iPhone.
I have an iPhone. So it took me like 3-4 months to understand it because, first of all, I couldn't get my fingers in it. I thought my fingers were too big for to make the letters, you know. But I'm cautious about my spelling because I've always been a spelling freak, you know.
And what would you like to say to our viewers who are going to miss you dearly, not being in the living room every night?
I got 5 kids and 10 grandkids, and I'd like to spend more time with them. And I really haven't had the time.
Will you miss getting up in the morning and not putting on one of your great suits and picking out one of your 100 ties?
It hasn't bothered me in 5 months. I'm just starting to get used to it.
Can you just explain to people what it's like to have a front row seat to the news for decades?
Being a reporter, being an anchor, being a photographer is like, you know, you're sitting there on the cutting edge of everything. You know, you're going to see it, you're going to hear it, you're going to witness it. You know how things, you get floods, you get fires, you get accidents, you get a politician steps down, you get a scandal, you get, you know, the mayor goes to prison. You name it, I've seen it. I've probably covered every story on a local level, beginning with the Kennedy assassination.
Wow.
And that's 57 years.
Yeah.
And people would go, you know, why are you retiring? I said, enough.
In past experiences and my role with Nexstar, you have to know that I've had the wonderful opportunity to work with, hire, and meet hundreds of dedicated broadcasters. You, sir, are the best of class. What you've done for this company, News Channel 9, and the business as a whole is remarkable. It's not only about the staying power, it's about the reputation, the trust and bond you have built with all you have worked with and all you have served in that great community for nearly 60 years. This is a testament to the adoration, the relationships you built, Rod, that is rarefied air in the broadcast world. And for that, we are grateful for you, your dedication to the business of fair and respected news reporting and to teaching others to be the best in the business. I've enjoyed our conversations, all of your great stories, and the autographed pictures which hang on my office wall. Even though we came to really know each other some 10 years ago, I knew when we bought WSYR, this news team, with you included, were the best in the business. And it's been my honor to have you a part of Nexstar, and to which you will always be a part of our family. Best to you in your retirement, Rod, and being with your family, friends, and doing all the things you love and all the things you have yet to experience. Onward.
Well, we're approaching the point that Rod knows all too well. We're getting the wrap.
Yes, we are, and it really is impossible to sum up a career like Rod's in just a few minutes. And it's even harder to tell him what he means to all of us.
So before we go, to use an old TV term we think Rod will appreciate, we have some lovely parting gifts. On behalf of your colleagues here at News Channel 9, you will always be the dean of Central New York broadcasters, so we have a little something to remember us by.
He's been the pinnacle for this place for over 40 years, and I don't think he hasn't, I think he's touched everybody's life that's come through this building in the last 4+ decades. He is the essence of News Channel 9.
Secondly, you've often spoken with pride about the time you spent early in your career at Onondaga Community College.
And this is an honorary degree for Roderick W. Grote, who you would know better as Rod Wood.
The OCC Board of Trustees met yesterday and voted to award you an honorary degree.
From all of the folks at OCC, a big thank you to Rod for an amazing career, being an amazing model, being an alumni of whom we are very, very proud, and that we're really happy to recognize him through our Board of Trustees with the honorary degree.
And Rod, there is one more thing. Well, no one has spent more time in the News Channel 9 newsroom than Rod Wood.
For more than 40 years, he's come in early, he stayed late, 12 hours a day most days, on holidays, during national disasters, whatever.
Whatever is right. The newsroom has actually been Rod's second home. And so, to honor his career and what he means to Central New York and to all of us, from now on, everyone who enters this newsroom will be walking into the Rod Wood Newsroom with our thanks and much love.